Get over and follow the Snarky J. She is a cosplayer, nerd slash geek girl, and she knows what she's talking about. She's not just another pretty face. This is where the haters would type, "You think she's pretty, bro? She's ugly, dude. She just does these videos to get her Instagram followers up so she can open up an OnlyFans and fail at it, man." She's probably laughing right now. She's watching this. She's like, that's exactly what they would say. All right. This is all about Marvel and her breaking up with Marvel. I understand. Now let's get this.
I was so into Marvel for such a long time. I would watch anything. I remember showing the Guardians of the Galaxy poster to my parents. And because I had faith in Marvel, I was like, that raccoon and that tree are gonna save the f***ing galaxy. You just watch.
You know what? I had enough confidence in them too when that came out. And I was like, I'm going to give this one a shot. I don't know nothing about it. And I ended up really, really liking that movie. And I bought it on 3D Blu-ray because I still have a 3D TV.
Hi all, Snarky J Cosplay here. Last week I made a video talking about the fact that I was no longer going to be watching Agatha all along, and even though my comments were filled with people saying, "See you next week, Grifter," I'm really not watching it. I don't give a shit anymore. Round of applause to Marvel.
Yeah, I still haven't caught up. I got to catch up to that. I also have a couple other shows to catch up on too that I really like though. But like Tulsa King, I got to catch up on Tulsa King. And I got to catch up on Penguin, but they snuck something in that last episode, and I was like, how did I know that's the direction you were going? So I was just like, as good as it is, I was like, how did I know that that's what you were gonna do? When I saw your trailers, I was like, I know what you're gonna do. And that's what they want to do.
For exhausting the inexhaustible. And I sat there thinking about it, right? Because I made it through The Acolyte, and I made it through She-Hulk, both of which I would say were egregiously terrible.
Yes.
As opposed to
Yes,
Agatha All Along, which I think is just kind of lame. And I thought about it,
Yeah.
and I realized that Marvel has really done a great job of creating apathy in its most devoted fans, and that is probably the worst thing they could have done, because hatred somehow still sells movie tickets and gets people to pirate things, but apathy essentially just breeds people who ignore your content.
Yep.
And I'm gonna get it.
That was like WWE for me for years. Y'all remember that video I did? It was a live stream where I was sitting in front of the computer and I had the WWE network on the computer ready to cancel. You remember that? Yup, because all the fans were like, "We dare you to put that belt on John Cena tonight." You remember that? Vince alienated so many of us that have never fully gone back. You've only seen me come back to watch The Rock. I still can't come back yet. I don't care how good you guys say it is. Okay, it doesn't matter. I got a buddy that's a wrestler. He's been on WWE a couple of times, and I told him, look, I'll start watching full time again once you're there full time. Once you're there, I'm watching every episode you're in. But yeah, so maybe one day I'll just sit down and watch a full episode of Raw or SmackDown, and maybe it'll draw me on back in. But no.
Into that.
See that? And if I did that, that means there's a ton of other fans that have not come back. No matter how well they may be doing, they could be doing a whole lot better. And that does not mean that every company will be able to do that. See, so they're alienating a bunch of fans right now. Disney is, and a bunch of other big companies are alienating people. Talk to Ubisoft, talk to Bud Light, and they may not be able to ever get them back. So keep doing what you're doing.
Just a few minutes, but it also just bummed me out and made me wonder where the MCU can go from here. See, I've been following the MCU pretty much since it was born.
Hopefully
the first Iron Man movie came out in 2008. Mm-hmm. I was 8 years old. I remember watching it. It didn't have a huge effect on me. When I really got roped into Marvel...
Wow, how much older than her am I? Holy ish, she was 8? I can't remember what year it came out.
Marvel was 2011 with Captain America: The First Avenger.
I was fully
my
grown
favorite
with
Avenger,
bills.
and he's the
I
reason
know
that I
that.
was first in line to watch The Avengers in 2012, and why
Okay.
I really got into Marvel as much as I did. When I was 12 in middle school, I walked around with a lanyard covered in Marvel pins. I had the ugliest Funko branded plushies that I was in love with, and to be honest, they would sit in my backpack sometimes because I had a very rough time in middle school, and sometimes I just wanted to know that Thor was a few feet away. Then I went off to high school, and regardless of what people claim to be lies, I did not have an easy time in high school either. I was band captain. I was not considered one of the pretty popular girls in school, so my bread and butter, my loves.
And this one time at band camp, how many times does she get this joke? I know people that know her must do the band camp joke. When American Pie came out, you was captain? God damn! Oh, I know she got all type of jokes.
Were my superheroes, my Marvel, my DC, but honestly, because of the MCU, mostly Marvel. That was what my time was spent thinking about. It was all encompassing for me. When you're that into something for so long and it just goes south so spectacularly, and we've talked about this with Star Wars before, right? And to me, it's devastating to see it happen with Marvel. I was so into Marvel for such a long time. I would watch anything. I always make jokes about the fact that I remember showing the Guardians of the Galaxy poster to my parents and getting responses like, what the f***? Why is there a raccoon? Why is there a tree? And because I had faith in Marvel, I was like, that raccoon and that tree are gonna save the f***ing galaxy. You just watch. That is how devoted I was to this shit. My cat was under my chair and I just hit him. Bruce, I'm so sorry. Quick cameo from Bruce because I stepped on his little pitter-patter. I'm sorry. All this is to say, on tangents, yes, I have an obsessive personality. Yes, I probably should have gone out and touched some grass. But the fact of the matter is that I lived and breathed this shit.
No, that means, fellas, you go out with Snarky J, you hooker. Might be a problem breaking it off if, so be careful. She's just told you her first red flag, obsessive personality. I've got a Hispanic living in the house right now that's quite obsessive.
For so long, and I was willing to stick by them, and I watched the entirety of it come to this beautiful conclusion with Endgame, and then I watched it slowly continue. And they gave us movies that we really didn't care about, like Eternals.
Piece of trash! Piece of trash!
Claim about it failing due to misogyny and racism and whatever, I didn't think was a good movie. And we saw this just continue to churn along, and I mean, with the exception of Deadpool and Wolverine, which is almost not even on the same league as any of this other stuff, it's been kind of since Endgame, and Endgame came out in April of 2019. So it's been almost...
What else was good? Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I just can't think of anything else right now. Like, my mind is drawing a blank. There may have been something. But, I enjoyed myself in Black Widow. For the most part. I don't know. I just can't. But I definitely mostly have not liked it. There's no memorable moments that are good.
6 years of watching this franchise that I love just fizzle out. And it has essentially created somebody who looks at all this that's happening and is like, all right, best of luck. When I'm interested, I'll click a trailer. When I'm interested, I'll buy a movie ticket. There's no world being built here that I'm buying into anymore. And it's not because, you grew out of it, Jay, you're being an asshole. I'm 24 years old. I'm not that level-headed where this stuff no longer appeals to me. I don't have much of a social life, so obviously this stuff still matters to me. The point, though, is that it has been so shit for now, 6 years, that it has essentially just driven out of me the love and care and devotion that I had to Marvel, which is very difficult to do when you've had somebody who's literally been on the hook since they were 11 years old. Before my brain was even fully functional, I was already entirely committed to this and this is what they've done. And I wonder where the MCU can go from here, right? Because so much of their fandom, so much of their fan base has started to feel the same. We've seen enough disappointment, we've seen enough lackluster projects, unfinished CGI, movies that just weren't great, casting choices that were kind of stupid. And so I think for the MCU, we're no longer going to be seeing those billions of dollars rolling in. I think Deadpool and Wolverine doing as well as it did was a tremendous outlier in it, purely because I think Deadpool and Wolverine, yes, flew under the Disney banner, but I think that was mostly Ryan Reynolds production-wise, and therefore I don't think Disney should be able to take credit for it. I think that was a 1 in a million shot. I don't see Disney making bold, fantastic, this is for comic book fans moves like that anymore. And when you look...
The only way you could give them credit is because they did greenlight it. If he said, you let me do it my way, and they said, okay, then I guess you could give them credit for that. But other than that, yeah, I feel like I really don't feel like there's a Disney think tank that came up with all of the good stuff of that, and just, no.
Look at what they've got coming out. Thunderbolts. Who asked
Not
for
interested.
that? We know the Young Avengers are coming together.
Not
if you
interested.
look at most of these characters, they all have the exact same personality. I don't want to say that all the good stories have already been told, because Marvel has a long and rich history of good stories to be told.
Oh my God.
But I think all the good stories they're interested in
Sorry, y'all. My computer wanted to give me a notification. There we go. All right, come on now. Stop playing with me. Come on. Jeez.
telling have already been told. And now they're hoping on just coasting on our previous love for it. Unfortunately for them, I don't think I have it in me anymore. And it makes me really sad because I've loved Marvel for so long. And believe it or not, I like liking things more than I like disliking things.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoy losing my shit over things.
Who likes disliking what they're watching? We don't like this stuff, okay? This is drudgery to go to these movies, okay? Before it was like, hey, babe, movie's gonna start. Are you ready? Let's go! You know what I mean? Now it's just like, all right, let's go. Movie's starting in like 10 minutes. Come on, let's go. All right. That's what it is now. There's no more excitement because you never know. And that's with every movie. You don't know if they're going to F it up with all the politics these days.
I loved Deadpool and Wolverine, even though I called it plotless, because it is. I was thrilled. I loved freaking out about it. Been there, done that. Bought the t-shirt, bought the merchandise, did the cosplays, everything. I want that again, but I don't think that Marvel is ever going to give me that again. And that's all from me. I've been Snarky J. Thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. For more Snarky J, be sure to check me out on Instagram, and if you'd like to support me, this channel, and my content creation, do check out and consider subscribing to my Patreon for exclusive photo shoot sets and cosplay content. I will add links to all of those in the description below, and let me know your thoughts on where the MCU goes now in the comments below.
Oh, it is uncertain where the MCU is going to go. I'm watching and a hoping. Think of all these wasted years of garbage that they've done to us, trying to push all this ideology. Just think about this. When they could have been riding extremely high, higher than Infinity War, higher than Endgame, they could have exponentially moved on to greater greatness, to godhood of movie franchises. Instead, they decided to destroy it. Sad, man. There's an alternate universe out there where they didn't go woke and start to go broke. I would like to go there and see what they did with those movies. It's probably an incredible society. Incredible society. Because the whole Western society probably didn't even go that direction in that alternate universe. It's probably a great place. Probably meet a happier version of myself, sit down and talk. I'm like, man, what happened to you? Listen, it's several things. Yes, and one of them is entertainment. One of them is that Puerto Rican girlfriend we had, yes, yes. But we'll talk about that later. Show me these movies that they came out with. Sit and watch them. million subscribers. Whoa.